I remembered it.
I totally hate that sound.
It is aggressive, isn't it? Go slideshow, double check. You guys can see that all right.
Yep.
You can see what we're going to be talking about and all of that.
Fine.
Right. So, you know how I had the 48 and 48 last weekend? You know, the live stream, which
Yeah.
I'll be talking about a bit later on in the episode. I don't know how you guys can switch from fucking night shift to day shift and all of that shit. I was fucked at the end of it. Like, because our recording times were like over here from like 5 in the afternoon to about 4 in the morning, New Zealand time. And it totally threw me. I was like, you can almost see in each episode at the end of it, I'm starting to get, you know, when you're like so tired, you start getting a little bit like sort of drunk in a way, like that sort of
A little
loopiness.
delirious, yeah.
Yeah, I was starting to get that a bit. It's like, yeah, I need to go to bed. Need to go to bed now. Otherwise, I'm getting a bit weird and a bit funny now. We actually didn't finish till 2 a.m. the Monday morning, which is why I took the Monday off, because, you know, I said to my manager, yeah, I'm not going to be in that weekend because I just know already I will not be a functioning human being on that Monday. I definitely wasn't. Like, I think I got up about 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was just like tired and headachy and just felt like shit the whole day.
It'd be like that,
but it was a really, really good weekend, which we will talk about a bit later on in the episode, because there are some results to come out of that, some very good ones actually. However, welcome to the Micro Machines podcast. It has definitely been a while since our last episode, but as we always say, we always try and fit one in wherever we can, and this week, this episode's a little bit special as well. This is our 5th year anniversary as the podcast, believe it or not. Considering, Garrison turned up in the 3rd episode, so you're basically original. And Clint was forced into it, I think, around episode 20 or 30, was it? Your 251? Something around there.
Something like that.
About 50 or 60 episodes ago, to be honest. But before we get into our subject, first off, you have me, Callum, from New Zealand. Currently just sculled a coffee because I'm just in a 24/7 state of just being tired and stressed out.
Oh, you got me, Garrison, out here in Kansas. I'm working on doing some oil paint weathering on an M10 and drinking a Ultra Peachy Keen Monster.
Ew.
Hey, that shit's actually fire, I ain't gonna lie.
If you say so. You got me, Clint, here in Indiana, and I have a wild cherry and cream Pepsi, which is remarkably good.
Clint with a Pepsi. Who would have seen it coming?
Exactly.
Well, in this episode, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite aircraft, even though it wasn't that good. The Boulton Paul Defiant. A design coming from the 30s, when doctrine wasn't really figured out, and the British had some very interesting ideas, we'll say. I've wanted to cover this one for a while, though, because it is overall just a really cool looking aircraft.
Why does it kind of look like a hurricane had sex with a Ju-52?
It basically is.
Okay.
It was one of the things. It looks close enough to a hurricane. When they the first time the Germans encountered it, they thought they were hurricanes. Only they have 4 303s firing straight back at them. Little bit of a shock, you know. So it has to start somewhere, though, and the entire concept of the Boulton Paul Defiant is a turreted fighter, which is basically a fighter with a rotating turret able to go toe-to-toe with other fighters. And we're going to find out why it never actually went further on than from that. But in the 1930s, military airplanes were getting a lot faster, which made life pretty difficult for anti-aircraft defences. Thanks to big leaps in aircraft design during the 20s and 30s, air forces now had multi-engine monoplane bombers that could outrun the older single-engine biplane fighters still in service. Reference things like, say, the Dornier DO-17 and stuff like that. They were actually faster than a lot of the stuff out there. So they kind of use speed to get away from people. The RAF figured that its new turret-armed bombers, like the Vickers Wellington, would be able to blast their way through enemy airspace on their own and didn't need fighter escorts. At the same time, they also realized that other countries' bombers, especially those of the Luftwaffe, would probably be able to slip into British airspace just as easily. By 1935, the RAF expected that Britain might have to fend off waves of unescorted enemy bombers, since German fighters didn't have the range to make the trip. This led to the idea of a two-seat turret fighter, where the pilot focused on flying while a gunner in a powered turret handled the shooting. Kind of makes sense from that point of view if you think about it. Then again, practicality and theoretically, two very different things, as people found out the very hard way.
Good intention, bad execution.
So what is that
pretty much.
top? What is that top one? Because that is crazy looking.
We'll talk about that one in a little bit.
Okay.
It is definitely it is on the list of it's ugly as fuck, but I want a model of it. I want to build that. It's so cool. Shooting hand crank turrets were already too slow for modern aircraft, so a power operated one looked far more promising. Boulton Paul had some solid experience with turrets thanks to its earlier projects like the Overstrand bomber, as Clint pointed out in the top right. The nose being with a powered turret. I think this is a Mark 1 and Mark 2 had a slightly different arrangement, but basically it was so tall to allow someone to stand in a turret. Same specification that the French had in their early bombers, hence why all the French bombers look ugly as hell and look like they shouldn't be flying. Yeah.
Also just French.
No,
it's just French. And they even tested a powered turret in a Hawker Demon, which is basically a two-seat variant of the Hawker Fury. Building on that, they developed a new 4-gun powered turret that became central to their fighter design. And here we see a powered turret in a Hawker Demon here, semi-enclosed, semi-open. Kind of looks a bit kooky and cool in a way.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be in it.
Yeah, no. A single 303 Lewis gun against a fighter with a minimum 3 machine guns coming at you. I'd rather jump.
Where would you keep extra ammo at?
Usually down by their feet.
Okay.
So they had them like sort of stored around in the fuselage, so you'd run out, pull the drum off, go fishing around for another one, put the drum back on. Although I think that drum holds 100 rounds in it.
Yeah, that'd go awful quick.
Yeah.
Better hope that fighter ain't in range to shoot you yet, but...
Well, funnily enough, most fighters generally had longer ranges than turrets.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
Especially firing backwards versus the aircraft firing forwards at you, and physics is a thing. In April 1935, the Air Ministry issued specification F.9/35, calling for a clean 290 mile per hour two-seat fighter built around such a turret, able to patrol for long periods and fire in almost any direction. It replaced an earlier abandoned pusher concept that hadn't offered enough performance. Multiple companies submitted designs, but by late 1935, the Air Ministry narrowed it down to Hawker, Boulton Paul, and Armstrong Whitworth. Several prototypes were ordered, but in the end, only the 2 Boulton Paul Defiant prototypes and 1 Hawker design were actually completed. Boulton Paul, already well invested in turret-equipped aircraft, entered the P.82, designed for specification F9-35. It looked a lot like a Hawker Hurricane, but was heavier thanks to its 4-gun SAMM designed power turret, a drop-in electro-hydraulic unit with a manual backup. Some earlier design work from the company's B.1-35 project also carried over. So what they mean by a drop-in is the turret is its own self-contained unit, and you literally just need to drop it in, and if you want to replace it, you just pull it out and put a new one in. Quite handy.
Yeah.
Especially
Okay.
for the Defiant, which we're going to find out why. So here we have the first two prototypes. And yes, the turretless one does actually look like a Hawker Hurricane.
It does.
It's kind of scary how multiple companies will get a specification and they all come out with something very similar and just look. Look at, say, the Grasshoppers, the L3, L4, L9. They're all built by different companies, but they all look the same. And, so weird anomaly. The first prototype, P82, also known as K8310, was assembled in 1936 at Boulton Paul's new Wolverhampton factory. It rolled out in 1937 with a Merlin 1 engine and no turret, making it resemble a heavier Hurricane. On 11th of August 1937, Chief Test Pilot Cecil Feather, very apt name, I gotta say. That is beyond a coincidence. He took it up for its first flight, well ahead of the rival Hotspur. Official trials wouldn't begin for another 9 months. The second prototype, K8620, this one had a Merlin 2 and with a full turret. Fix it up. That one's K8310. Actually, they're both the same one. Funny enough.
That is weird.
So finally flew in July 1939 after various small design tweaks that slowed its completion. Although the Air Ministry originally leaned towards Hawker's Hotspur, Boulton Paul's turret impressed them even more. Hawker was also tied up building Hurricanes, so the Hotspur lagged behind and didn't fly until mid-1938. Meanwhile, Boulton Paul had already been given an order for 87 P-82s back in 1937, before the prototype had even flown. The Hotspur order was cancelled in 1938. With its turret fitted, the Defiant reached 302 miles an hour in testing and officially won the turret fighter contest. Pilots found it stable and easy to handle, which helped when using the turret. But long development delays meant that by the start of World War II, only 3 Defiants had reached the RAF, and only for trials. By 1940, newer fighters and bombers were already coming into service, limiting the Defiant's usefulness just as it was finally arriving. Boulton Paul's P-85 was their proposal for specification 030-35, a naval turret fighter for the Fleet Air Arm. It was essentially a carrier-friendly version of the Defiant, with leading-edge slats and a deeper fuselage to allow for the slower landing speeds needed on carriers. It was planned for using either a Bristol Hercules radial engine or a Merlin. Even though the P-85 was expected to be faster, the Navy chose the Blackburn Rock instead. Also a totally failed turret fighter, which one day we'll do an episode on. Blackburn was already overloaded with other work, so Boulton Paul ended up doing the Rock's detailed design and production anyway. In the end, the only Defiant variant of the Fleet Air Arm actually used was the target tug version. Basically, the Blackburn Rock is, well, you take a Blackburn skewer and you put a Defiant turret in it, and you get a Blackburn Rock. And it was just as useless. And exceptionally more ugly. And a skewer is, it's not the prettiest aircraft, you'll say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. I've got a model of one that I'm going to build. A Novo kit. Yeah. Let's say there's a contender for something we're going to announce today.
There you go.
I have plenty to choose from. The first Defiant prototype. The first Defiant prototype originally flew without a turret and actually had an impressive speed. In 1940, Boulton Paul went a step further and removed the turret entirely to create a demonstrator for a fixed-gun fighter built from Defiant plans. They proposed 2 armament layouts, either 12 303 Brownings, 6 in each wing, or 4 20mm Hispano cannons replacing 8 of those Brownings. So you'd still have 4 Brownings and 4 Hispanos.
Bam.
For the 30s, that's pretty decent.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, even 12 303s would severely mess your day up.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
if they are 303s, that is a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Uh,
lead coming at you.
Yep. The guns could even be angled down for ground attack work. But by then, the RAF already had plenty of Hurricanes and Spitfires and wasn't interested in another single-seat fighter. Even so, the modified design, called the P-94, was calculated to hit around 360 miles per hour at 21,700 feet, nearly matching a Spitfire, although it wouldn't have been as agile. So it was just a drag racer, basically, with 12 303s in it. Oh, could you imagine anti-infantry work with that? It
Yeah.
would just be, what's that red mist down there?
Yeah.
So, let's talk about what the defining thing about the Boulton Paul Defiant, the turret. So, a turret of a 303. And as you can see here, it is a fully enclosed single unit. And it was a nightmare. We'll find out why. The Defiant was built mainly to shoot down incoming bombers. Its main weapon was a powered dorsal turret with 4 303 Browning machine guns, lighter than cannon, since they fired bullets instead of explosive shells. Early versions could even carry a few small bombs. To keep drag down, the Defiant had pneumatic fairings around the turret that automatically raised and lowered so the turret could spin freely. Pointing out to the two lads, this bit here and here. As the turret went round, this is an early version, but in later versions, as the turret went round, they actually dropped down automatically as with the gun arc and then raised back up as it went past. Very cool. I've seen watched video of it, and it looks really cool.
It's pretty neat.
That is neat.
The guns were electrically fired, and safety cutoffs kept them from shooting into propeller or tail. A very handy design to have. You don't want to shoot your tail off.
I was just gonna say something about this. Could be a bad tail shooter, but okay.
The gunner could swing the turret forward and hand firing control over to the pilot, letting the guns fire past the sides of the cockpit. Not something I would like, personally, if they were off by a couple of degrees.
Mm-hmm.
But this wasn't done often. I wonder why. The turret couldn't fire straight ahead. It had a minimum elevation of 19 degrees, and the pilot didn't have a gun sight anyway, likely because the Defiant was meant for zero deflection shooting, like a few other Air Ministry driven designs of the time. The Defiant's turret setup came with some big limitations. The guns couldn't fire straight ahead. They had to stay at least 16 degrees off the nose, and they couldn't fire downwards either. That meant that the Defiant had to stay below its target, which worked fine against bombers, but was terrible for fighting enemy fighters because, faster, more nimble, that kind of thing. Because the pilot flew the plane while the gunner controlled the turret, the two had to constantly talk over the intercom, which often pulled the gunner's attention away from actually shooting, and probably being thrown around the place like a freaking set of maracas. The idea behind the Defiant's zero deflection shooting wasn't new. World War I ace Albert Ball had done something similar using upward firing guns. With the turret stuck at a minimum 19-degree elevation and the ballistics of 303 Brownings, the RAF seemed to be aiming for a simple point-and-shoot style. Oddly, the RAF never really trained for this, even though the Luftwaffe later used it for the same concept very effectively with their upward firing strange
Jazz
music.
Yeah, jazz music.
Sweet jazz. Was it jazz music?
Yep.
Night fighter guns. For years, RAF crews blamed flak for bomber losses that were actually caused by these attacks. So they didn't even know they were being shot down by guns. They thought it was just flak, which must be very insulting for the Luftwaffe pilots when they find out.
Yeah, I mean, the Night Fighter's whole thing was, hey, we didn't get seen. We really didn't get seen.
It's like, we weren't even there. The gunner aimed the turret using a small hand control column with a firing button on top. The motor had a high-speed setting for quick swings, and then there were manual crank for backup, which, that would be a forearm workout. Getting in and out of the turret wasn't easy. The gunner had to rotate it to the side to climb in, and there wasn't enough room to wear a standard parachute. Instead,
Lovely.
the chute... Oh yeah, it gets worse. Instead, the chute was stored beneath the gunner, making escape extremely difficult. To help, gunners were eventually issued with a special one-piece power suit, nicknamed Rhino Suit. Air gunner Frederick Gus Platts later said it was uncomfortable and awkward, but admitted there really wasn't a better option, even though it ended up costing many turret gunners their lives. Basically, it's a suit with the parachute around it, sort of thing. You can see it up here, top right pilot. The top right photo for anyone watching.
I thought
This
bro
is a
was
Rhino
picked up.
suit. No, Rhino suit. And basically, instead of a parachute packed into a bag, as you normally see them, he's kind of wearing the parachute all over him to reduce the size. It didn't work that well with deployment, stuff like that. There was a few issues which, you'd only really find out at the worst possible time.
Oh yeah.
Kind of pull the cord and go, well, shit.
Here you go. It's only 30% effective, but you probably won't survive to being shot down anyway.
It was 30% of the time it was 100% effective.
Yep.
Right. So let's start getting into the variants. So the Defiant Mark 1.
It looks better in flight.
It is a very photogenic aircraft in flight. You'll also notice the antenna on the bottom here automatically, so they got two of them, automatically folds up when the landing gear goes down.
Neat.
Yeah. In October 1939, number 264 Squadron was reformed to fly the new Defiant, though they didn't actually receive the aircraft until December. So they were just sitting around, waiting for aircraft.
Lovely.
Or probably want it either.
Yeah. Early on, they trained using other planes while figuring out tactics. By February 1940, they were practicing night fighter work, testing their methods against Hamptons, Blenheims, and even a Spitfire, flown by ace Robert Stanford Tuck. These trials made it clear that the Defiant could handle unescorted bombers, but was very vulnerable to fighters. By March, 264 Squadron had two operational flights, and number 141 Squadron had begun receiving its Defiants. To confuse the enemy, the RAF even put a false story claiming that Defiant carried 21 guns.
What the fuck?
The Defiant's first combat mission came on the 12th of March 1940 when 6 of them flew with Spitfires over the channel and shot down a Ju-88. The next day they claimed 4 Stukas, but then they were bounced by Bf-109s, which shot down 5 of the 6 Defiants.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's not a great attrition rate, is it?
No.
90%.
Hey,
Yeah.
guys, we're doing great. Guys?
Oh, fuck.
During the Dunkirk evacuation, 264 Squadron operated from RAF Manston. They had mixed success. On the 27th of May, they claimed several HE-111s, and on 28th May, they fought off around 30 Bf-109s, losing 3 Defiants but claiming 6 attackers. Still not a great ratio.
No, not really.
Their biggest day was the 29th of May, where they claimed 37 enemy aircraft across 2 sorties, mostly Stukas, caught as they pulled out of dives. That's just like cheating. Let's face it, Stukas don't really count as a kill. To get one Stuka kill, you needed 5 of them. That's how easy they were. They went the British started not counting them as a kill because it was like, shit's too easy. One gunner was lost after bailing out. Probably didn't have a parachute. His parachute probably failed. His pilot managed to get. You know what's worse? His pilot managed to get the damaged aircraft home.
Oh,
He bailed out.
Oh,
no. The luck didn't last. On the 31st of May, 7 Defiants were lost in a single day after Hurricanes and Spitfires failed to support him. Later blamed on poor radio communication caused by the Defiant's aerial setup.
They're supposed to be a fighter, But they need other fighters to escort them?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
British logic, brother.
At first, some Luftwaffe pilots mistook Defiants for Hurricanes and attacked from behind, only to fly straight into a wall of turret fire. Once the Germans figured out the trick, they changed tactics and attacked from below or heads up, where the Defiant couldn't shoot back. Because one of the things they didn't put in a Defiant were any guns in the wings, which, I mean, in hindsight, it probably wouldn't have helped as much, but at least it would have given them some options.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably could have done with at least like a couple of 303s in the wings just for that kind of thing.
Then what did they have in the wings? Nothing?
Nothing. There was nothing
What
forward.
the fuck?
Yep.
That had to bring down the pilot's confidence. Jesus.
Yeah. Losses went up fast, especially among gunners, who often couldn't escape damaged aircraft. The weight and drag of the turret also made the Defiant slower and less agile than single-seat fighters. 264 Squadron developed a defensive tactic, flying in a descending Luftberry circle so no one could attack from underneath while giving all-round turret coverage. It worked for them, but 141 Squadron ignored the advice. On 19th July, 7 of their 9 Defiants were shot down by 109s. The other 2 survived, only thanks to Hurricanes breaking up the attack. Although 264 Squadron claimed 48 victories over Dunkirk, the real German losses were much lower, around a dozen, because multiple Defiants often fired on the same target. Also, there was a bit of animosity between 264 Squadron and 141 Squadron, which was bad enough that they couldn't be in the same pub together because they would start fights with each other. Yeah. So, just a little fun fact about that. Those squadrons did not like each other. After moving to RAF Hornchurch in August, 264 kept flying daylight missions. They scored some victories against Ju-88s and Dornier 17s, but continued to suffer heavy losses. A few crews, like Flight Sergeant Thorne and Barker, achieved impressive results, but overall the squadron was taking unsustainable damage. By the end of August, more than half of all Defiants delivered had been shot down. It became clear the aircraft simply couldn't survive against fighters in the daylight. The RAF shifted the Defiant to night fighter duties, where it performed much better. In its brief Battle of Britain service, 141 and 264 Squadrons shot down 25 German aircraft for 17 Defiants. But the need for constant fighter cover and poor radio reception made daytime use impractical. That's still like 25 for 17. That's not a great ratio.
No, it's not.
It's quite a high ratio. However, that is the Mark I Defiant, and if you want to build a Mark I Defiant, well, you have quite a few very good options. So, in 32nd scale, we have from Airscale Pro, a Defiant Mark I, which has a full interior kit, is in 32nd scale. I believe it's a resin kit, however. In, I believe, 48 scale, 48 scale, we have a trumpeter, classic airframes, and I believe MPM Productions is also in 48 scale, or I think that one's in 72nd scale. Not sure how good they would be. Apparently the trumpeter one has some accuracy issues with it. Also in 48 is Airfix with their Boulton Paul Defiant Mark I, which gives you 2 options, either daytime or night fighter variant. In 72nd, you have the Palva, it's the Czech Republic company, as well as Airfix in 72nd scale. I can say the Airfix one is a very, very good kit. I've built that one. It is really nice. And also their 48 scale one is supposedly a real good kit. So, Clint, you got to try at least one Airfix one. The Defiant is a very good kit that they did.
Well, I got the classic airframes kit in the stash, so if I'm going to build, I want to be that.
And also, because I made this episode a while ago, in that time, Kotari, they announced a pre-order for 2028 of a Defiant Mark I in 32nd scale. The first lot are going to be exclusive limited numbered editions, so you get a few goodies with that. Of course, it's in 32nd scale. It's going to be highly detailed, highly accurate, And apparently, so Qatari are doing a lot of pre-orders, right? They've
Mhm.
had some very good ones. Like their Halifax. This one, the Defiant, has actually been their highest pre-order number. This has had the most pre-orders they've had out of everything so far. So
That don't make much sense, but okay.
the Defiant seems to be a popular aircraft, especially for 32nd scale. Can you imagine all the detail you get inside that turret?
Very true.
So yeah, and of course, so here you can see in this artwork, you can see the spine and behind the cockpit slotted down for moving the turret around. It makes it look a little bit weird, but
Mm-hmm.
Needs and musts. So
Great. Pre-order 2028.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
That's a ways off.
yeah. We'll need to get Mark on, the owner of Qatari, on. He's always keen to talk about it because there's a lot that goes behind trying to get a kit out. So especially when you're going to go for like high accuracy and detail and stuff like that, they take a bit longer than say a company that pumps out not very good kits, but at an alarming rate.
Yeah.
It's one or the other. The Mark II. So, 1st of July, 141 Squadron sent Defiant L6997 on the aircraft's first night patrol. By August, the squadron was flying both day and night, and on 15th of August, it recorded what may have been the Defiant's first night victory. From September onward, night operations became its main role. As the Luftwaffe began heavy night raids on London, B Flight moved to Biggin Hill, while A Flight shifted to Gatwick in October and then to Gravesend. The squadron made several successful claims during this period, including 2 HE-111s on the night of the 15-16 September. The first confirmed kill, a single HE-111, came down on 22nd December. Early Defiant night fighters lacked air interception radar, so crews relied on visual spotting, even with the help from searchlights picking out enemy bombers, which must have been real fun. In early 1941, as German night attacks reached their height, more Defiant-equipped night fighter squadrons began flying regular patrols. Although historian Michael Bauer notes the actual victories were relatively few compared to the number of sorties, author John Taylor points out that during the 1940-41 Blitz, Defiant squadrons still shot down more enemy aircraft than any other night fighter type in the theater.
Okay, but how
The
many
upgraded
time fighters were in the theater?
there wasn't many at the time. I think night fighters during Battle of Britain, you had the Defiant, you had the Blenheim, Hurricanes, I believe. That's all I can think of. If someone knows what others we use, please comment. I'd love to know. The upgraded Defiant Mark II, fitted with AI Mark IV radar, and then the more powerful Merlin 20 engine, offers significantly better night performance. 264 Squadron received the first Mark IIs in September 1941, with 96, 151, and 262 squadrons becoming the main operators. But by the time of these improvements, these improved aircraft entered service, the Luftwaffe's night offensive was already diminishing as Germany shifted to focus towards Operation Barbarossa, aka where shit went wrong. Defiant night fighters usually attacked from below, similar to the later German jazz music tactic, though crews often approach slightly ahead or off to the side rather than directly under the tail. Which for German aircraft is actually a good thing, because a lot of German aircraft didn't quite fire straight out to the side because of their gun layouts. I think the only ones the Dorniers had a single, and the HE-111 had a single gun firing out to the side. So 4 versus 1. Defiant night fighters, the turret fighter idea wasn't abandoned immediately. 4-gun turrets were tested on Beaufighter Mark IIs and Mosquitoes in 1941. However, the drag penalty was severe, cutting the Beaufighter's top speed from 303 miles per hour to 272, and the concept was dropped. Plans for a more powerful turret fighter successor lingered briefly, and then the idea was abandoned in 1942. So you can see here, Defiant Mark II's the night fighter. This little arrow thing on the wing, that is the radar array. So that's the main defining feature of a Mark II and a Mark I. And if you want to build a night fighter Mark I, night fighter Mark II, or a Mark II Defiant, well, you have 4 fairly decent options. First off is classic airframes with their Mark II night fighter. Also in 48 scale is the MPM. 48 scale as well, you have Airfix with the Defiant Night Fighter Mark I. I'm calling the Defiant Night Fighter Mark I Defiant Mark II. There's a little bit of overlap there, sort of thing. So
Okay.
I do like the shark mouth scheme, black scheme though. It does look pretty cool. That.
Oh, that's
And
some
in
nice looking box art.
Oh, yeah, it is. And in 72nd scale, you have Special Hobby with their Defiant Night Fighter Mark II radar fighter, which Special Hobby is one of those special things where sometimes they're really good and sometimes you don't want to go near it. And these are Defiants from afterwards. So, after trials in 1940 with the School of Army Cooperation, the Defiant was evaluated for use as a high-speed gunnery trainer, and the Air Ministry approved continued production for that role. By 1942, it was withdrawn from combat and reassigned to training, target towing, electronic countermeasures, and air-sea rescue. The Defiant ended up carrying 2 different types of electronic warfare gear, both designed to disrupt the German Freya early warning radar. The first was Moonshine, and that will disrupt anything.
Yes, it will.
You drop a couple of they just drop a couple of cases of moonshine and no one's going to function for a couple of days. Which retransmitted Freya signals to mimic the radar return of much larger formation. Because each transmitter covered only part of the radio's frequency band, 8 Defiants were needed to create the illusion, making the Germans think they were seeing more than 100 aircraft. Since the system required tight formation flying, it could only be used during daylight and was mainly employed to lure German fighters towards decoys and away from the real bomber force. A special duties flight was formed in May 1942 to operate this new equipment, with the first live moonshine test taking place on 6th of August. It was then used during circus raids against coastal targets, and again on 19th of August against the Dieppe raid. The unit became number 515 Squadron on the 1st of October 1942, and moonshine operations continued until November. 515 Squadron then shifted to a second system, Mandrill, a noise jammer that blanked out Freya's signals entirely. Basically, it would just give the Freya a migraine. Individual Defiants orbited roughly 50 miles off the enemy coast, and with 9 aircraft in position, it could create a 200-mile gap in German radar coverage, which is a weeny bit big.
Yeah.
You could probably get a couple of squadrons through that unnoticed. The squadron flew its first Mandrill mission on the night of 5th and 6th of December 1942, and kept using Defiants for jamming runs until early 1943, where longer-range twin-engine Beaufighters began to replace them. The Defiant flew its final jamming mission on the 17th of July 1943, losing one of the 4 aircraft sent out that night. And here you have, 151 Squadron, 515 Squadron down here, and this is their Defiants with the jamming systems in them. We have a few other smaller variants. First one is the Defiant ASR Mark I. In the air-sea rescue role, the Defiant had originally been selected to replace the Westland Lysander within shallow water rescue units. To carry out this mission, Defiants were fitted with a pair of underwing pods, each containing 2 M-type dinghies. On March 1942, Number 281 Squadron was formed at RAF Alston in Northumberland and became operating a number of Defiant Mark Is for this purpose. Over the following 2 months, 4 additional squadrons were also equipped with the type for air-sea rescue work. However, the Defiant soon proved to be a poor fit for the role. Many of the aircraft had already been heavily used in early operational service, leaving them worn and limiting the numbers of sorties they could fly. Other problems include the Defiant's relatively high stalling speed and wide turning radius, both of which were serious drawbacks for low-altitude, low-speed rescue operations. As a result, by the end of 1942, the Defiant had been phased out of air-sea rescue duties entirely. It's sort of the problem of the Defiant. It was an all-right aircraft that there was just nothing for it to do, really.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
here we have a Defiant in the naval scheme, which does look pretty neat.
That is a very beautiful aircraft.
If you want to, you can actually get a Mark 1 in the ASR role, and that is the classic airframes Mark 1 day fighter. Also has parts to create the ASR, the Air Sea Rescue, with the M-type dinghy pods in them. So if you want to build an ASR, classic airframes, 48 scale, Mark 1, day fighter, that's the one you go for. Is that the one that you've got, Clint?
Yeah, I believe I still have it in the stash. I don't think I sold it yet.
Don't sell it, build it.
No, it's one of the in the for sale piles. I won it in a raffle. So
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good price for a raffle.
yeah.
I think an order going to New Zealand might be in the work here, maybe.
The Defiant Target Tug Mark 1. A high-speed target tug version, the extensively modified turretless Defiant Mark III was developed to meet increasing demand for aircraft in that role. Many surviving Mark I and Mark II airframes also converted by removing their turrets for the same purpose. In this final target towing configuration, the Defiant saw widespread overseas service with both the RAF and in the Fleet Air Arm in the Middle East, Africa, and India. Additional deployments were made to Canada, where the type was used as a target tug and trainer under the British Commonwealth Air Training Plan. And here you see the target trainer. You have the classic camouflage overtone with the bright yellow underside to mark it out as a training.
Yeah, as
training
don't
tug.
shoot here.
Yeah, as in please don't shoot us. Fun fact: if you can actually build a couple of these. One of the main differences is all target tows have a propeller out to the side of the fuselage. That is to generate power for the winch. FYI. If you want to build the target tug trainer Mark 1 or Mark 3, you have three options. First one, classic airframes again. They really like their Defiants. They have the TT Mark 1 and TT Mark 3, as well as a scheme for an American Defiant in the target trainer. So if you want to be a little bit different. MPM Productions also has a Mark 1 Mark 3, as well as Palva, which has it as a night fighter variant, or you can build it as the target trainer Mark 1 with American scheme in it. The American scheme also, instead of having just a plain yellow underside, it has black stripes with it as well. I believe the British one might have done that as well. And the last time the Defiant was used for anything, the Defiant ejection seat trials. As you can see in the photo.
So well.
Yeah. Well, as you can see in the photo, the only photo I could find, by the way, of it being used. Defiants were also used for various special tasks, including tactical evaluations carried out by the RAF Gunnery Research Unit and the Air Fighting Development Unit in Farnborough. And for all those who are very interested in experimental stuff, you'll know what Farnborough is. There is a very, very cool museum out there. 2 aircraft were allocated for early ejection seat development. One to R. Malcolm Limited, later ML Aviation, and the other to Martin Baker, one of our favourite companies. On 11th of December 1944, Defiant DR944 was delivered to Martin Baker's facility in Denham, where it was fitted with an early ejector seat prototype installed in the observer's position. On 11th of May 1945, Martin Baker used DR944 to conduct the first ejection seat tests involving dummy launches. Additional trials with DR944 continued until May 1948. The second Defiant, AA292, was delivered to R. Malcolm Limited at White Waltham Airfield on 15th of April 1945, and its first airborne dummy launch trial took place in that October. The final operation employment of the Defiant occurred in India, where the type continued to serve as a target tug. So here we can... Yep.
Who is the poor soul they got to be the dummy?
Not sure. I have a feeling... I don't think Eric Winkle did anything like that, but there was a few aces that they used. They say they did dummy trials. They absolutely chucked someone out.
Yeah,
Guaranteed there was someone strapped to that at some point with a parachute, and let's just say there ain't enough money in the world to get me to do that.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
I quite like being in the aircraft, you know?
Right. Like people who jump out of aircraft for fun. It's like, why? There's nothing wrong with the aircraft.
It's a perfectly good aircraft. If it was on fire, then maybe.
Yeah. It's like, will the fire
up.
kill us before we land?
Yeah, can we fly it down and I can exit? Is there a fire extinguisher on hand? But that is it for the Boulton Paul Defiant. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. It's a little bit of a weird aircraft. Like it worked as it was intended, but it didn't work at the same time. But it's a cool little aircraft. So we're going to have a brief intermission, then we'll get straight back into the hobby news. There are some very cool releases out there, and also what we've been doing, because it's been a little bit of a time since the last episode, so we've got a little bit of catching up to do on that, as well as an announcement about the 48 and 48 live stream. But we'll be right back. And we are back with the hobby news. Hello. So let's see what has been going on. As usual, I'm going to get Clint and Garrison to give their grading on excitement of the release, or, you know, is it going to be a good one? Will they want it? Who knows? We're about to find out. First up, from ICM, they're releasing a new boxing of their handily paid Hampton, also known as Churchill's Flying Suitcase. This is in 48 scale with some brand new decals. Features characteristic late production details. Includes multiple bomb types that can be placed in the bomb bay and underneath the wings, and it has a decal marking sheet for up to 4 aircraft. Now, don't know about you guys, but I seriously want a Hampton. They are so ugly, but so cool. Fun fact: you see how narrow it is. Take a guess. Inside dimension, how wide it was.
I'm gonna say 3 foot.
Yes.
Yo, damn.
Oh.
The aircraft is 3 foot wide.
Holy fuck.
It's a bit narrow.
I've seen one before.
Interesting. Give it a 4 foot.
It's about 3 or 4 foot. It is not much in it. Like, you know. What do you guys think of this? Is this something that you would like? It is in 48 scale. It is on that so ugly it's cool.
I'll give it a 6.
For what it is, right? I'll take my armor biased out of here. I think a 6 or 7.
I'm going to go with an 8, but that's my RAF bias right there.
Yeah.
Also, it's ICM, so
yeah, that
will
means
it be
it's good?
Yeah, it's like which team did it? I will say though, top marks for box art.
Yeah, box art is beautiful.
That's a keep and mount on the wall. That one. I
that
really wish
like Willie from The Simpsons on the side of it, though.
I think it's Popeye.
Yeah, he looks yellow.
I really wish companies would like include a poster of the box art just without all the branding and shit around it. You know?
Yeah.
AFE Club does.
Do they?
On some of their stuff they do. I know I've only built 2 AFE Club kits, and both of them had a little poster thing in it.
Oh, that's cool. Up next, from Trumpeter in 48 scale, a Russian Mi-17 1SH, also known as the HIP. So this is coming out with brand new parts in the box and a new boxing as well. Don't know about you guys. kind of like the hip in a weird way. It's a. What do you guys think?
Interesting.
It is trumpeter, so quality hit or miss.
Ejection pin marks on the outside faces.
Yeah, something like that. What are we thinking?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Russian stuff, but I'll still give it a 5 because I do enjoy helicopters.
Yeah, I'll give it about a 5 or 6, maybe.
Yeah, I'll go about a 5. I do like the weapon setup it's got, and I don't know, the hip is it's cool in a weird way.
It's hip, as the kids say.
Oh God, you can tell Garrison has a son. Another one from Trumpeter in 350 scale, the HMS Renown in 1942 configuration. So the Renown is a battle cruiser, has 3 turrets with 2 guns in each, and I believe was used to transport Queen Elizabeth around during the war when she had to go places. So not a bad way to get around. Me personally, I'm just going to jump off and say 7 out of 10. I would definitely love to have an HMS Renown in the stash, because I do believe she got a major update around 1943, 1944 as well. So 1942 variant is the one I want. What are you guys thinking?
I do love a cruiser, so I'm going to give this an 8.
It's a battle cruiser, so it's like battleship and a cruiser. It's like battleship guns, cruiser armor, basically.
I think it's a well-renowned ship, so I think
Oh, 2 for 2 with the dad jokes. Can you go for the triple? Can we get a
Bro-
hat trick?
oh brother, you the moment you said renowned, I've been waiting to say that.
Ugh.
That one's been loaded in the barrel way too long.
Yes, yes. I'll give it. It's a cool subject. I'll give it like an 8 for shipbuilders. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And actually, trumpeter ships are actually not bad, I've got to say. The ships are good. Well, they're more detailed than a lot of other kits. Like their 700 scale versus, say, Tamiya 700 scale. Detail-wise, they have much more going for them, I will say. Another one from Trumpeter in 16th scale, the scale we don't like. New parts to make a Panzer III Alf's N. The N variant being the with the short 75mm cannon from early Panzer IVs. So this is in Tunisia, and I believe this might be modelled off. The jerry cans make it look like it's modelled off the one in Bovington.
Oh yeah.
Tank Museum. Also, weird place to put a whole bunch of jerry cans, especially for the commander cupola right behind it. How are you supposed to see forward? Just saying. I mean, 35th scale, I would probably go for this, although I would much prefer an earlier Panzer III, but if it was this or nothing, I'd probably go for it. 16th scale, it's a lot of paint.
Yeah. I'm not big on trumpeter or 16 scale, so just because it's Tunisia, I'm gonna say 3 out of 10.
Subject was pretty decent. 16th scale immediately. I'm gonna give it like a 2. Fuck out of here.
I'm gonna go with
shit.
I'm gonna go with a 3 just for. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for 3 for the Panzer III. It's a 16th scale thing. It's too big. I mean, trumpeter armor kits I find no issue with at all, but it's just the scale. This one, a weird one. This is a company called Hobby Search, I believe. And this is a 72nd scale Bofors 40mm L60 gun, Atlantic Convoy Escort. This is a 3D printed kit. Comes with 4 crew loading a twin Bofors mount. And then you got the 2 gunners there. So in 72nd scale, it'll be a fairly decent size. Just a weird little subject to have, which is kind of nice. Make yourself a little section of a ship or something like that. It looks good. I like this. What do you guys think?
It's a cool idea. Wish it was a little bit bigger. 172nd stuff always looks like it's. People
Boy.
always look a little bit too like squatty and fat.
Is it like too much like toy sort of
Yeah.
scale? Yeah. Like 35th will be much better, I think. But
I'll
even
give it a 4.
I'll go for a 6 just for the originality.
Yeah, I think the scale wise, not the greatest, but for the what it is, it's pretty fucking cool actually, in my opinion. So I'm gonna give it like a solid 7.
Yeah. Also, I do like how the figures are actually in like mid-loading as well. So I like that sort of dynamic.
Yeah.
Up next from TACOM, one of their new announcements, the Project 1123 Moskva class aviation cruiser in 350 scale. Probably not the best time to release something like this, but yeah, they've probably had it in the works for much longer and they kind of went, fuck it. No, I'm not the biggest fan of Soviet ships to begin with. But what do you guys think? You do see they have a lot of photo etch, especially for that radar, it kind of looks quite nice.
It looks like it's like TACOM did well job building it or adding photo etch and stuff to it, but it's still Russian. But I'll give it a 2.
Doing it a favor by giving it a 2.
Yeah, that not the number I was expecting.
Well, I mean, we can't give it a 0, so I had to bump it up 1 point just because TACOM did looks like they did a good job making it.
Yeah, like the detail on the helicopters looks pretty good. So
yeah,
we'll give them that. I'll go for probably about a 3.
Give it like a 2.5. I'll be there.
Something a bit more exciting for these two, 35th scale. They're bringing out 2 SDKFZ 250s. One is the SDKFZ 250-7 Alfs A. I will not even begin to pronounce the full name for that. There's like 100 letters there. As well as the
Victor
SDKFZ 250.
Schunzen Panzerwagen Schwer Grandruffer.
Yeah, that.
As well as the SDKFZ 250-4 Alfs A. So by the looks of it, the 7 is a mortar carrier, and the 4 has 2 MG34s as an AA mounting. They both come with a bonus figure as well. So looking at the renders here, they look really nice.
Now, are they TACOM's own design, or is this just more Reebok's Dragon stuff? Because even the bonus driver figure looks exactly like the bonus Dragon driver figure.
I'm not sure they're calling it a brand new tooling, so it could be brand new. I'm not too sure.
Either way, if they're cheaper than the Dragon kits, yeah, more power to them. I'll take it.
Which one would you prefer, mortar or the AA mount? Is it an AA mount?
Yeah, it's an AA mount. I don't have the AA one. I got I got the /7 by Dragon in the Satch. But if it's a different I'll give them both 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll go with an 8. Same here. It's like even though it's German, and I have my issues with German things. If it's a decent enough kit and it looks good enough, and I mean the 250s are kind of cool. I mean they're just a short 251. I prefer the 251 over the 250, but
yeah, the hull's more designed like the AA version of the 251, the one that made for the Hermann Göring division.
Is that the drilling one?
No, the drilling's or is it the drilling? Yes, yeah, because it's got the
with
the
three MG.
3 or 4 MGs, yeah.
I think it's 3 15mm ones, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, that one.
I do like also how the 4 has a canvas roof to go with it as well.
The Dragon ones come with that too. But it's in that stupid DS stuff.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Very
Moving on.
that I got my own 25/1 from TACOM, literally the day this was announced.
Which one did you get?
The 250/1. Oh, give me a second, I'll tell you. Oh. It is the SDKFC 250/1. Yeah, that's it. It has a canvas cover on the back, a bunch of tarps. 34.
So that'd just be like the dash one. That'd just be like the bog standard.
Yeah,
area.
that's what it looks like. Yeah, I got it to tow my pack 38.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next, from Mini Art in 35th scale, we're getting the KFZ-1 German Troop Carrier Type 170 VK with a canvas roof, as well as markings for being somewhere very cold, most likely in Russia. Has photo etch for decal options. And yeah, what are we thinking?
I love soft skin vehicles. So, mini art, so it's probably going to be, what, 5,000 pieces?
It'll have a fully working transmission, engine, you put a bit of fuel in, probably start up, working brakes with a pedal, probably the canvas rolls itself up.
Yes. Despite all that, I'll still give it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'll go with a 7.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6.
It does look cool.
It does.
If it also comes with the cover for the grill, might be 7.5.
2 to go.
One.
First up, Armour Hobby in 72nd scale. They're releasing a Yak 1B. This has got new parts, so it's a new release, even though it's not new tooling. They got new parts for it, and looks like it just comes with. It's got a couple of decal options as well. Clint has already expressed his dislike of it. Let's say.
You know what? I'll give it a 2 since it looks like this is Polish. So 2.
Yeah, I kind of like the Yak series, the Yak 1 and Yak 1, 3, and 3s and stuff. I'll go a 6 just because yeah. Sorry, I gotta go for a 6. I want one. I want the Yak. Garrison?
And the Yak, honestly, it's pretty neat.
I mean, if you you can go for like a Yak 7 with the French markings. The Free French actually flew Yak 7s, weirdly enough.
But it's French.
Yeah. You're not doing any good here. It's going down.
The Yak 1B, so the Yak 1 and the Yak 1B, I think the Yak 1 had a razor, like a high back canopy. The Yak 1B has the bubble. When you actually look at the 1, the 3, and the 7, and even the 9, you can kind of sometimes sit there and go, I don't know which one's which. One day we'll do an episode of them. Also, they're largely made of wood.
Oh, yeah. Except for the armored tub.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to give this like a 6. Fuck it.
And lastly, from Armour Hobby again in 72nd scale, new boxing of the Nakajima Key 43 2 Hayabusa, I think also known as the Oscar. I think it was.
I think you're right.
This is an Aces pack, so they have decals for Hayabusa Aces, which I wouldn't mind having. I quite like the Oscar. It's a really neat looking. Is it an Oscar or no? No, yeah, it's an Oscar because the Hyatt is the Frank. The Oscar is just this really weird sort of. It's really cool. It's a very narrow, streamlined aircraft. So I quite like them. Also, camouflage scheme in the boxing here looks sick.
It does.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna go with a 7.
Yeah, I'll say 7. If it was in the correct scale, I would say an 8 or a 9.
If it was in 48.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it probably a well-earned 7 or 8. It's a neat little aircraft.
It'll be I guarantee it'll be a really nice weekend build. I can say that.
Yes, a weekend build for me means like 4 months.
I was going to say, it's like that's a large percentage over the year, isn't it?
Seems that way sometimes.
Gotta get
Oh,
back on that gravy train, brother.
Not all of us could get disabled from the Marine Corps.
Hey, listen, Chief, listen.
He was disabled before he went in.
That's true.
Mentally, yes.
Oh, we are so cancelled. Okay, so that is it for hobby news. Up next, we're going to just have a quick look at what we've been working on for the last couple of weeks. And Clint, you're up.
Oh, this is my 251s. At first, I was gonna build the 251/20 Uhu from AFV Club, and as I
What?
was building it, everything was fucking warped on it. So I
Also,
decided to take the searchlight and some of the stuff that makes it an Uhu and just graft it to one of the mini 251 Dragon kits that I have, and yeah, 3D printed the generator for the searchlight to stick into it, and this is where I'm at.
I got to remind myself when I'm editing this, I am so changing every time you say Uhu to the Uwu.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dude, at first I thought he said uwu. I'm not even gonna lie. That's why I was like, what the fuck? Oh no. Not you too.
The interiors of these look really, really good. So you had to take apart, like, what was it, the Dragon kit that was warped to fuck?
No, the AFE Club.
AFV Club. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, the one here on the ones on the left is the dragon with the AFE Club parts put into it.
That's looking really good. I like the shading you've done on there.
Ah, thank you. That just I call it, half-assing it, where you put down a black. Well, I mean, it looks good, but
Yeah.
you put down a black, primer, and then you just go over it, and you intentionally,
Screw
make it
it
a little
up.
splotchy. Yeah, you try to get
And
some
somehow it
shadows in
works.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. Half-assery.
Like it.
Mhm.
At least it feels that way.
Now, so I take it you're going to be painting the outside of them in, I don't know, a couple of months from now? Maybe around like June?
Oh, let's be honest.
I'm
Probably
gonna give
Christmas.
it. I'm gonna give it. Yeah, I was about to say I'll give it around my birthday in November.
Yeah.
Garrison, you're up next.
Right. So, actually, what I literally just finished weathering. This is my Pacific M10 diorama that I'm working on. Here I've got the base with wonderful plaster and rocks down. Got the road carved in with a little trench, blast crater. I plan on throwing on 2 palm trees and then like one of those like really short, like chubby palm trees. And I've got 3 crewmen, 2 infantrymen, and just did some oil weathering just now, and it looks very, very sandy. Very sandy indeed.
Hell yeah.
Nice. And you got the checkerboard pattern on the back. Did they
Oh.
paint them blue?
They did, yeah. It was blue and white. Was what the color, but that's what I'm going with.
The rear guard identifier.
Yes.
Let's face it. You did this diorama just so you could paint a checkerboard on the back.
Actually, yes. I'm not even lying. Yeah. Because I had plans to put originally I had plans to put the M10 in the Philippines, and then checker pattern.
Yeah. Wasn't it Christian that?
Yeah,
come
I was
up
going to
with
say Christian sent you that photo. Went, hey, this is really cool, and
I ran with that motherfucker.
it?
took it and ran. It's going to look cool when you finish it.
Appreciate it.
Hell yeah, man.
3 from me. So first up is what I built last week. So I was part of the Model Officers 4848 charity live stream. and I decided to build an Academy Spitfire Mark 14, their C kit. However, they say it's a C, but then you have parts for the E wing, which has a 50 cal and a cannon, as opposed to the cannon and the two 303s, and yeah, it was definitely an identity crisis kit. However, decided not to go with the Invasion Stripe D-Day scheme because me and Invasion Stripe decals do not mix. They're that sort of, the decal type that's very thin, so you see everything underneath it, but then very fragile, but then won't conform to anything.
Yes.
Yeah, that's them. Like, you can see when they're on the decal paper, you can see just how thin they're going to be.
The invasion stripes are thick enough. You should be able to just mask and paint that.
Well, I was going to do that, but then what they did was the fuselage markings they incorporated into the fuselage invasion stripes.
Oh,
So it's one decal. Yeah. If they hadn't done that, yes, I would have done the D-Day. Except they did that, and that means I'd have to decal them all. Otherwise, having a decal fuselage invasion stripe and then spray and then airbrush invasion stripes on the wings would have looked too weird.
Yeah, I agree.
It wouldn't have looked right. So instead, went with this SEAC Burma India camouflage. So you got the dark brown, dark green with white stripe identification stripes in them. You'll also see the nose. So I painted the propeller black, and then I added some royal blue into it, and just in the right light, you can see that the nose has got a more blue tinge to it, which is just subtle enough that it looks good in the scale. The only thing that I'm missing on it are the markings, because I was going to make my own masks. Didn't have enough time. So I'm going to just buy decals and just decal it, and I'll call it done. It's not like a detailed build or anything like that. It wasn't even a detailed kit. It was a good kit to put together, but there are better kits out there. I bought it for like $10. So
shit, there you go.
Yeah, but overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out and whatnot. Had a few errors here and there. Basically, had to repaint the camouflage over the top of itself because of varnishing issues. But yeah, but otherwise, I'm happy with how it looks. Quite like the Pacific scheme Spitfires.
Oh yeah. The white came out really good too. That's a hard one to usually get to.
Yeah, especially when it's like being sprayed over two colors. It was a nightmare, I will say. And one of the reasons I had to spray over the camouflage again freehand. Next, my main build of the year, my Germany 1945 Comet diorama. So it's got the 10 figures, which 9 of them are all painted, ready to go. I've just been doing the dust effects on the Comet, so I haven't got photos of that. So the British figures are already all finished. I've just got to do the German. It's just when you paint 9 figures, you get to the 10th, and it's like, I can't be asked. You know.
The commander comes in the kit, doesn't he?
Nope.
Oh, he doesn't. Oh.
No. So the commander and the loader, they're from a separate AFV crew set, and then the riders are mini art, except for and then the two on the ground are AliExpress, I believe. So other things I did in the bottom right, you can see I added radio wires, electrical wires for the handset and radios, just because it looked weird without them, because they're quite large. They're quite thick wires in real life. So yeah, just trundling along with this. Eventually it'll get there, but I'm happy with how it's turning out at the moment.
It's looking great, dude.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's what happens when you take your time on something for once. And lastly, Garrison and I are doing a Chaffee buddy build. So Garrison's just building a bog standard M24 Chaffee. You're doing the Korean War?
Yeah. I'm gonna redo the diorama base I made for it, but yeah, I'm still doing the Korean War.
So Garrison's got his already. Your one's unpainted at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just built. I haven't primed it or anything yet.
Yeah, so I'm trying to catch up. So I'm building the T-77, which is a prototype anti-air variant with 650 cows in a turret. So just been working on the suspension for that, which Garrison can attest to. It takes a while.
It's a
There's
fucking
so
nightmare.
many. Yeah, there's like I think at one point one of the suspension arms has something like 15 parts to it or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Ooh.
The wheels itself has 6 parts to them per
Yeah.
wheel.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
Yeah, that really destroys the soul. I can I'll say that.
Honestly, it wasn't as bad as the Mini Art T55 I did, but it was just like holy fuck.
A close second.
It was a very close second.
But so I'm just trundling along with it. I mean, once I get the suspension done, the upper hull is not much to it, and then I've got the turret to do. So yeah,
And
I'm just getting
once you
on.
get through that leg of the suspension, dude, it's a quick, easy build.
Yeah. So
It's
I've just got to get through the suspension part, the other side of it, which is annoying because I made the suspension sit too high up, which means that the rubber band track is now 2 lengths too long, and also means that I intentionally have to get the other side too high up as well. So it's like, yeah,
Build it on a slope.
yeah.
So have you been building it on the jig?
Yep. Been building it on the jig makes life a lot easier, especially for trying to put the suspension on.
Oh yeah, it's like having a third hand.
Yep. Definitely makes life a lot easier. So thanks for that.
Yeah, no problem.
That's all I've been building. As I said before, last week I was part of the Models for Heroes Model Officers 4848 live stream. Started last weekend. We did 3 shifts over the weekend, staying up till stupid o'clock in the morning. But it was a really fun time chatting with people. Got to chat with quite a few noted names. Clayton Ockerby from Workbench Hobbies. Stuart from Black Hat Scale Hobbies, Scale Models. A few people. We had Dave Goldfinch from On the Bench. He was one of the crew, and yeah, no, it was a really fun time. So in total, well, they're still trying to tally up. It takes a while to get the donations sorted out, but at the moment we're looking at just over 30 grand New Zealand.
Oh hell yeah!
Which is, I think they said it's like 15,000 British pounds. I think I just need to double check that. But I think it roughly adds up to around 30k New Zealand. So it's a pretty decent stint. So yeah, pretty happy with it. It was a really fun event. It was good to hang out with people who I don't usually get to talk with online. Like Mikey, Bearded Veteran Creates over in Wales. He's always good because I don't like during the summertime here. I don't talk to him a lot because of time zones. Daylight saving here, it means that it's where I'm 14 hours ahead or something like that. So then it's just like makes life difficult. During winter, it's not as bad, but so no, it was good to talk to them, hang out with Steph, budget scale modeler, James Skiffins from Just Making Conversation, and all of them. So it was a really fun time. It was really good. So and you can go back and watch the live streams as well. They're currently sitting at something like 1,000 views each.
Damn.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah, not bad. And that is it for this episode. However, we will be announcing, we will be starting a new group build soon as well. This one's going to be focused around shit kits. All the kits that you don't want to build because they're going to be a pain in the nuts. Well, we're going to make you build them. We are currently still working out the finer details on rules. I think one of the main ones we agreed on is no Tamiya kits, or all the ones that are actually decent. Old doesn't mean shit. That's one of the stipulations. Yeah, Garrison tried that when we shut him down. Because it can be an old kit and still buildable. We want a kit that's probably old or new, but quite unbuildable, and we're going to make you build it.
Yeah.
Of course, there is quite a substantial prize for the winner of that, so there is some motivation towards that. However, that will be announced in the next episode. However, we have come to the end of this episode, and before we sign out, we must do the usual of thanking our Patreon supporters. Those are our Pinju supporters of Paul Gallagher, Lord Flaky, Robert Judson, Brel Massaroni, and Liam Barnett, with our Pinju followers Robert Brisbane and Frank Little. I do believe we might have one or two other new ones. I haven't checked in a while. If I've missed your name in this episode, please forgive me. I will get you in the next episode. But as usual, we thank you guys for your continued support. We have hit 5 years of the Micro Machines podcast, and we're definitely feeling it now. So hoping this year we'll get a few more episodes in. We should really timetable and schedule things properly for that. But
What's that?
well,
Yeah,
I know.
we're not the most consistent podcast, but at least we try to be. We try.
At least we
We're-
try to be entertaining.
Yeah, guy.
we're 100% consistent 10% of the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But until the next episode, we'd like to thank you for supporting us, watching this episode all the way to the end, and listening to it as well on Spotify and all other podcast platforms. And if you want to join our Patreon, it is Patreon/Micro Machines Podcast. You will find a whole bunch of extra videos there, and possibly some STL files that we've been designing just for you guys. So, until the next episode, we shall say bye for now.
See ya.